Hey guys, it's SmithCast here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the SmithCast podcast, and today we are doing episode 4. So today we don't really have any topics because there's not really a lot that's been happening this week in terms of gaming, and I think I'm going to tune away from the gaming news kind of stuff, and I'm just going to go in like a different direction with the podcast, like just talk about general things. And we'll still talk about gaming, but we won't focus our main stuff on the gaming. Like we'll just talk like generally. Like what I want to talk about today is is there such thing as like a perfect girl? How do you go ahead and meet someone you've met online, etc. All that stuff. So we're just gonna do like general topics that people are interested in listening to and need help on and need advice, etc. So the podcast is late because I have a very messed up kind of sleeping pattern at the moment, and that's because I'm working 2 jobs. Now, one job I'm working later at night and I'm finishing at 7 p.m. The other job I'm starting at like 4 a.m. and finishing at 5 p.m. So my sleeping pattern is kind of varied, although I don't do the second job all the time. I just do it when they sort of ask me to. So I mean, some of the simplest things in life, like waking up and sort of like going to sleep, they should be easy to do in the human world, but they're not really, are they? Because you can be sat there, and this used to happen to me all the time when I was at school. And I'd just be sat there playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, just chilling with your friends, playing Search and Destroy or Capture the Flag, etc. Just having fun and just chilling out. It'd be like 12 o'clock, and you'd be like, oh shit, I gotta be up in 8 hours. I should really go to sleep. When really, you just carried on playing the game for another 8 hours, really, and just went to school. Whereas like when you're at that age, you should really be going to sleep because your body and you as a person, you're not prepared to stay up for 24 hours. But I was kind of like built that way because I always like kind of like stayed up overnight. Like for example, I remember when I went to France when I was like 8 years old, between 8 and 10 maybe. And we had to get up like really early, like 3-4 a.m. in the morning to go get our like ferry over there. And I just stayed up the entire way, and just even I was still awake on the ferry as well. Like I was just like drinking kind of like some like Panda Pops probably at the time, and they were the shit. Panda Pops, brilliant stuff. But I mean, you sort of have to like build yourself up to it as long as you can get your body clock used to it. But staying up overnight isn't really that great. But I mean, even like waking up in the morning, like sometimes waking up in the morning can be really difficult. Like sometimes it's a legitimate struggle to sort of like wake up. Like sometimes you'll just wake up like randomly and think, right, okay, I'm done, I'm done sleeping, I'm fully awake, I'm getting out of bed. You get out of bed, you do your shit, you crack on with your day. But sometimes, and this happens more than most of the times, you don't often get that feel good feeling when you wake up, like when you have your dream sleep and you just sleep the whole night through, and you just have a perfect sleep. You just wake up, you just get out of bed, and it's like, okay, right, I'm not tired anymore. You don't often get them. They come along about once every 2 weeks or so. You'll often get one of them, but every other day, and this goes to friends as well, who I've spoke to about, we talk about sleeping and whatnot. And sometimes it's like, oh, I gotta be up at 8 o'clock, so you go to bed at like between 10 and 12 or 1 or 2, etc. And depending on what time you go to bed, the harder it is, kind of thing. But you'll wake up and you'll be like, oh god, yeah, 5 more minutes. So you set your alarm or you put it on snooze, etc. And you're like, 5 more minutes, yeah, I'll get up. 5 minutes goes by, another 5 more minutes won't hurt. And then if it gets really late, you just be like, well, I'll just have like another minute, just another minute to myself. Oh god, a minute goes by, it's like, oh yeah, 10 more seconds. Yeah, 10 more seconds. Oh, just close my eyes. That 10 seconds is really going to help you, right? And the thing with sleeping is that I've always wondered if actually closing your eyes makes you more tired, or if it like kind of like makes you less tired. Now, what I'm talking about is like, obviously when you're tired, like when you're waking up and you're fast asleep, you wake up and your eyes are hurting, right? You get that pain in your eyes because you're seeing the light, or you're just waking up and your eyes are like sort of like stretching it out and whatnot, and you're just like, well, you stretch, you get out of bed, you sort of do things, and your eyes are like still. What happens at that point? Like, if you close your eyes, does it make you less tired, or does it like make you even more tired? Like, I mean, I'm not saying if you went to sleep for would it make you more tired. I mean that like when you've got to be somewhere, say like you've got to be somewhere at 8:30, you get up at 8 or quarter to 8, whatever. So let's say it's snooze off for another 5 minutes. Within that 5 minutes, and then you get up. Does sort of like sleeping for that 5 minutes, does that actually make you more tired throughout your day because you've had more sleep, but you still want to sort of go back to sleep? Because let's remember, like, you're closing your eyes, you've got it in your mind that you're just going to snooze off for 5 more minutes, or does it mean I'm having 5 more minutes extra sleep, so I'm not going to be that tired for much longer? It's kind of weird, right? How the human body and how the world works, and it's just complicated, like it really is. But I mean, going to sleep and waking up at a reasonable time and going to bed at a reasonable time should be easy things, but the fact is that no one has a perfect sleeping pattern. Of course there will be people that sort of like, once you get into like a job and you have to get up at like 4 in the morning every day, so if you did that job for 5 days a week, I'd say after about a month and a half, you'd have that schedule locked in, so you'd be getting up every single day at that time, probably without even setting an alarm, because it would just become, your life to you. You'd just be, yep, 4:30. You just get used to it. Your body would just get used to it, so you wake up after that. But I mean, for those that have like consoles, they game, or they just do something or whatever, they have the internet, they watch TV. They play the DS, whatever. We have to struggle because it's just like, I can play this game for 5 more minutes, or I can go to bed and have 5 extra minutes. Someone comes in your room saying, you need to go to bed. It's like, yeah, 5 more minutes, yeah. And those were the memories of my childhood right there. You need to go to bed. Yeah, 5 more minutes. I can't save it here. Always use that one. That one always works. I can't save the game here, Mum. Yeah, I really can't. It won't let me save here, so no. And that one always works. Like, and then 5 minutes later it comes in. It's like, yeah, I still can't save it. I have to get to the next checkpoint. Okay, bye, go away. And it's just fun shit like that as a kid that really gives you that like rebel life stage, and it's fun being a kid and tampering with your sleeping schedule, I guess, because you will experience it later on in life. Like you'll be 18 one day. For people in the UK and whatnot, you'll be 18 one day, you'll be going out with your mates, you'll be going downtown drinking, and you'll start stumbling in at like 4, 5 a.m, etc. Or some of you may even do that now. I know I did that when I was like 15, 16, 14. 14 I was coming in at like 2, etc. This was on weekends, not school nights, by the way. School nights, school nights sort of like, I don't know, school days, so Monday to Friday, they were kind of depressing for me. Like, I didn't want to go to school. I didn't like school. I had a great like school life kind of thing. Like, I was well known. Everyone was friends with me. I knew people in like every single year. So I wasn't like popular. Like, I didn't hang around with popular kids, but all I did was play football pretty much. But sometimes I'd go, like, on a Friday I'd go hang out with the popular kids and go drinking with them, kind of thing. So, my life was kind of, like, balanced. And, I didn't get, like, bullied or anything like that. I didn't have, like, a bad school experience, really. But I just hated school. I just hated the fact that, you were trapped inside these classrooms for, like, 5 hours, and it's just like 3 hours, you feel like you've wasted, or pretty much 5 hours really, because no one's really listening, no one's really paying attention. You're not really learning anything. You're trying to learn, but there's always that one dickhead that just constantly doesn't shut up, and that's usually me or someone else. But hey ho, we all, I don't know. School is just like it's a great way for conversations, but sometimes you gotta learn, etc., because you do have to have some kind of like borderline education to get somewhere in life. But school life can be interesting, can be boring. It depends what sort of like class and teacher you get. Really, if the teacher allows you to have fun, then that lesson can be interesting. If not, then that lesson's terrible, and you think, God, I gotta put up with this for a year. Jesus Christ, kill me now. But no, like, school life for me was kind of like depressing, to be fair. Like, I hated going to school. I'd get up like every single day late. Sometimes I wouldn't even go to sleep, and I'd just go to sleep at school. And I always had this argument because like my school was like very strict on uniform, and I only wore a tie on like day one of like going there. That was my first day ever, and I never wore a tie again in that place because I hate fucking ties. Okay, ties are fucking stupid. Like they really fucking are. Like, yeah, fair play if you're going in a suit, but I'm going to a fucking school. I don't need a fucking tie. Okay, just piss off. You don't need a tie to go to fucking school. Anyone that says that deserves to be tied up by that fucking tie and have their own tie in their fucking mouth. Because ties are just pointless at school. Oh, you have to look smart because you're representing the school, etc. You need to give the school a good name. Well, let's give this school a good name by doing, other things rather than wearing fucking ties that help our community out a bit more. Okay? Brilliant. Anyway, so I was always on the borderline. Like, we over here, and I'm sure you guys across the borders as well, there are two types of school shoes. There are the one horrible one. Actually, there are three types. There are the horrible school shoes. There are the sort of okay smart shoes, and then there are the sort of like Air Maxes. That are like school trainers. You sort of like get Air Maxes, black Air Maxes. School trainers, etc. And me being a football player, into football and into sports, etc. I had those ones because they were suitable for what I was doing at school. And school always had like a big issue with that because like I had like green ticks on my shoes, or I also had like red ticks on my shoes as well. And they were like, oh, you need to get that coloured in, or you need to do that. It's like, oh, shut up, like, come on. You really think people are walking, like, I would just say, do you really think people outside of the school are thinking, oh my God, he's got red ticks on those shoes? Oh my God. Oh God, please phone whoever and give that school a bad review. Don't tell Laura not to send her kids there because that guy has red ticks on his shoes. Just no, that's a terrible school. Like, the school logic is terrible. The fact that they actually care about their reputation so much these days is really bad. And, especially like reputation when it comes to like uniform, because I think, in America they do it fine. Like, in America you don't have a uniform. You wear what you feel comfortable in. And I've always gone by, uniform, any uniform that you give me, any sort of, piece of clothing or shoes, etc. that you give me isn't going to make me perform better. It isn't going to make me smarter. It isn't going to make me, all of a sudden, have a smarter brain. It isn't going to make me want to work twice as hard, etc. If I want to be brainy, etc., then the way to do that is to wear what you feel comfortable in, right? You have to wear the clothing items that make you feel comfortable, that sort of make you feel yourself. Because when you feel yourself, you're at your best, right? Because you're not copying them, you're not mocked. You are yourself. You are what you wear. That's who you are. Sort of, sort of not reviewed on, but that's who you're sort of like impression is of, that's your first impression. You see a goth wearing goth clothes, oh, your first impression is he's a goth. You see a greb with like their long hair, the skateboards, etc. They're grebs. If you see a blonde girl, that there's 98% that she's dumb. But some girls are like that, some aren't. That was just a joke, by the way. Don't take it all to heart. I'm not a bad person. It's just a joke, okay? I'm sorry. But it is what it is, and school to me just isn't fun, and I don't see why school. I think it's the way they educate people. I don't think people in this like sort of century, with all the technology we have, all the tablets, all the interesting gadgets we have, they are still making us learn out of textbooks, and it's like boring. No one reads books these days. No one's, yeah, people read books, but no one's out of school. They want to read another book. No kid is striving, can't wait to read this mathematics book. Oh, I can't wait to read this English poetry book. It's because it's boring. We need to learn in fun ways. You need to somehow, the old people are writing. We just don't understand their language. And thou shalt always whatever bullshit. Like, don't give me that shit. Don't give me that shit, because we weren't born in those days. We don't understand that language. We don't need to learn that language because we only speak one language, and that's English. And if you can't speak English, then that's it. And it's just terrible, because I think the way of learning is just going downhill. Like, we need to be trying to get the most fun out of our lessons, because when you have fun, you're happy, you're smiling, you're wanting to do it more and more. So if you made the lessons fun, then people would be willing to take part and, sort of not just doss around in school. They would actually be wanting to learn and sort of like, oh yeah, that lesson was really cool, let's do that again, And it's just my perspective on learning. I feel like, people learn in such different ways that you just can't sort of expect them to want to pick up a textbook and say, hey, let's all turn to page 41 and read ahead, because it's so fun. Oh yeah, page 41, woo. But those ones are never fun to do. I look at this sheet, open that sheet, go to this page. You should be playing like maths games to learn maths, and I know they started doing that. Maths games are fun, etc., and they're just boring, and school is boring, overrated as well. I think a lot of people sort of like college because you get a lot more freedom. You're actually going into town, like you don't just go into your local town. Normally you have your college in your big town, so you go in there every day. You're probably getting the bus with your mates, etc., and you're just having fun, and you're meeting a load of new people. There's loads of new girls to hit up, or boys to hit up, whatever, and you're just having fun, and that's how it's supposed to be, living life and enjoying it. And college, they just treat you a lot differently, which is really good, because like you've reached that grown-up stage where teachers actually understand you. When you're in school, teachers just don't understand kids. They really don't. They think we're all the same, but we're not. We all work differently. Okay? Yeah, we're all the same human beings. We all have the same sort of like body functions, etc. But we're not the same. We all have different interests. We all have different lives. We all have different experiences. We've all lived through different things. We aren't the same. No one's the same. Unless they're identical twins, but even still, they're not the same. And at college, you sort of like get treated a bit better, and then if you go into uni, etc., you sort of like, uni's a fun life, drinking every single week, going out into big places, getting your uni funding, etc. But uni puts you in debt, so it's kind of difficult when it comes to that, because uni can put you in debt, and it's kind of like, well, still to this day, just in the UK, people who go to uni, they're not still guaranteed a job, and that's really poor. But you can't just like give people disadvantages who are starting from the bottom and sort of push them away. So in a way, it's kind of fair, because why should your degree just guarantee you a job, etc. So I don't know how it works in like America. I know they have like 3 different types of school grade things. Like they have like high school, something senior, or something like that, and then something else, whatever. But apparently school's boring over there. School's just boring. I think teaching in America would be more fun, I think. But I've got some American friends and they tend to not agree, but hey ho. Moving on, I want to talk about, is there like a perfect girl? Can you actually meet the perfect girl in your life? Now, you probably, when I look at this, I'm probably thinking like, for me, I probably sit here and think, and like when you say, oh, the perfect girl, yeah, you probably think, a celebrity right now, so you probably, I for instance, think, oh, Selena Gomez, she's just an all-time perfect girl. She's just amazing. Everything about her is amazing. She's got money. She's got a fantastic voice. She's cute. She's sexy. She's stunning. She's just, she's just up there. She's just number one. She rocks your world, And, let me know who your perfect girl is. But the fact is here's the real question. Are they really perfect? Because let's face it, everyone has something about them that they don't like about themselves, or that other people don't like. So if that is true, and people find out, which they generally do find out, that means they're not perfect. And I learned this the hard way, because I was going out with my girlfriend for 2 years, my ex-girlfriend, coming up to 2 years, and I thought I had everything in life. I thought I was working towards my future. I thought, this is it. I finally found the one, because we were so crazy about each other. We loved each other. We were happy. We were blessed. I could see myself being with this girl for over 50 years. I thought this was the one, and within a second, with the click of the fingers, it's gone, and all of a sudden it's not the one. And I kind of like, I don't know, like after you sort of get the way I am, after you've been where I've been, you sort of like lose hope, because you always have that one girl that you sort of wanted in your life forever. You sort of, I'm happy with you. You make me the happiest person ever. So why wouldn't I want you in my life for like 50 to for my lifetime years, Why would I not want that? Because every time I'm with you, you make me happy. Or every time I'm around you, or in some kind of like format of a conversation with you, I'm happy, I love my life, But, that all changes. And it's just amazing. It is amazing how things can change and how people change. And it kills me to say that, but life isn't all it seems to be. And don't live your life off like music and movies, etc., because all that's just bullshit. Like movies and books, they paint love to be one big success. Your true love is your one and only love, etc. That might be true in some cases. Like everyone remembers their true love. Like you can ask anyone who's had their first love, etc. You will ask anyone, and they will know who it was, when it happened, what age, where it happened. They will tell you their first kiss, their last kiss, why they broke up. Everyone remembers that first person that they loved, and the first person that broke their heart. And it doesn't matter about second and third person. It's always the first person. And that's what me and this girl had in common. We found each other. We'd sort of experienced this journey together. We hadn't been in love as much as this. And I've put commentaries on my channel, and where we've had breakups, we've had breaks, etc. And my life has sort of been devoted to this girl, to sort of like make her happy, to make her smile. I'd go the extra mile just to make her happy. And I thought this girl was everything. I thought, this is it. I can honestly see myself getting married, to this girl. And man, it's so, I don't know. I think when you make visions like that and you make plans for the future, it's so much harder to sort of walk away from things. And to give you an update on my situation where I'm at with this girl, we had a difficult 2 months because she broke her phone and she was sending it away, and it took like a month for it to get back. I don't know where the hell she sent it, but after it came back, well, within that month, we sort of like, I was trying to talk to her every day, like I'd like message her on Facebook, etc., and she just really wouldn't talk. And I already knew that our relationship was over, because I said, not to her, but said to myself, if we can overcome this like month ahead, then we're good. But if we don't, then the relationship's over. And I think the fact that she had like a month away from everyone, like from her friends, from me, from everyone around her, from everyone on her phone, all the apps, the games, PS3, etc. She had a month of just being alone with her family, and seeing her friends but not seeing them all the time, etc. I think that changes someone, and you sort of like, once you know what you've lost, you sort of miss it, but like sometimes you learn how to cope without it. And she lost her granddad like 7 months ago, and that hit her for 6, and she hasn't really like been the same since then, kind of thing. And that was on her mind like every single day, etc. So I told her that I'm not gonna go on like this, etc. And if you do carry on like this, then I'll just like get you out of my life, because I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not being how I'm not sort of like being treated the way you're treating me, kind of thing. Because she gave me all this like kind of, if I ever lost you in my life, it'd be the biggest regret and the hardest thing to take in my life, etc. I always want to be in your life, I always want to be a part of your life, you mean so much to me, etc. And all this shit. And I tried to do a lot for her, and I still do to this day. And I want her in my life too, but I'm not going to be walked all over. I want you in my life, but I'm not going to be abused, kind of thing. You don't have the ability to sort of just talk to me whenever you want. If you want me in your life, then you act like you want me in your life. You don't sort of like, I'll message you one day, and then I won't message you for a week, or I won't talk to you, but I'll still pop up online, but I just won't talk to you. I'll just read your messages and talk to you when I feel like talking, kind of thing. You're not walking over me like that. No one does that. That's not being a friend. That's just being disrespectful and just being a cunt. And I told her that, and she's like, yeah, I'll change. The next few days go on, etc. We sort of like get back to basics, just being friends, etc., and just talking. And then it started to go back again, and I was like, well, come on, we've already been over this. And I just told her straight, I said, look, you haven't been the same for 7 months, and that needs to change. You've been hit for 6, you're depressed, you're upset, you're annoyed, you just don't care about anything, you're just giving up on everything. You've lost all your fighting ambitions, you've lost all your ambitions to succeed and do well in life and achieve and have success, and all that stuff. You've lost all that, and that's not right. That's not okay. You need to have a plan of action for your life, because life just doesn't plan itself out. It just doesn't. You need to have an ambition. You need to have a goal. You need to have something to make you successful. You can't build success off nothing. If you have the foundations where you have millions of fucking money, then yes, maybe you can. But when you are just a, middle class person, family, or high class, you still have to make yourself a living. You can't paint the dream living. You can't just sit there in your bedroom and not go anywhere in life. You have to adventure. You have to live life. You have to really, really experience life in the big world. And I'm telling her this, and she messages me saying, I don't know what to say to that, etc. And the first thing I put to that was, I hope I didn't offend you. And she's like, no, you didn't offend me, etc. And then we leave it the next day. Like, she randomly messages me, and after I wake up, I message her back, and then she calls me, and she just starts crying her eyes out. And I'm like, oh fuck, like shit, what did I do? And she's just like, you know what, everything you said in the message yesterday is totally true. I just don't care, etc. I'm this, I'm that, I've turned into this. I'm so sorry, etc. And she pretty much kicks the ball back into the field. And she tells me what's going on with her and why she's being how she is, etc. And as a friend kind of person, just the person I am, that's a huge step in the right direction. But it can't continue on like this. We have to progress through this. I don't want to see this girl she's had 7 months of badness, 7 months where she really hasn't been the same. I don't want her to have 3 extra more months, and 5 months, and then when the date comes around again for it being a year on her granddad, I don't want her to be hit for a 6 again, to be hit even lower, even further behind, and have a bad year next year. So I'm trying to help her and try and get her, fighting back with life and, wanting to be happy. Because you need to be happy in life. You just do. And it's tough. It really is. But who knows? Maybe we'll get there in the end. So, is there really a perfect girl out there for you? I'm kind of mixed, really, because what may seem perfect at the time can always change, and change can either be for good or for worse, and you just got to deal with that. And the last thing I'm going to talk about today is meeting the girl or guy that you've been talking to for the first time. And this is kind of tricky because a lot of people experience this, but in different ways, and a lot of people, like I said, that they view life differently. We're all different. We all have similar minds, but they're all totally different. They're similar in how the way they work, but what the ins and the out of that mind are totally different. And in life we meet new people all the time without really noticing. And so as I was saying before, I had to cough there, so I had to take a pause there and then restart, etc. So like I said, we also like function, our brains like in a similar way, like how the brain operates is sort of like similar to everyone's standard, but we all sort of like react differently to things. And some of us have anxiety, some of us are scared, some of us are worried, some of us get really nervous, some of us sweat a lot, some of us sort of just overthink, some of us just sort of hesitate too much. And that's why meeting new people can be difficult. But if you think about it, you meet someone new in your life pretty much every single day. And, what's the best way to explain this? Well, when you first go to school, the fact is when you're like 4 to 5 years old, you don't really know that many people. You may know a few of your mums and dads, kids, because they know your family, etc. Some of your family's kids, etc. because you've been to parties, etc. But you walk in there and you don't really know anyone. And after completing 5 or 6 years at the school, you sort of go out there and you sort of know everyone. You know everyone within your year at least, and maybe a few in like other years, but you tend to know everyone. You tend to get along. You tend to love life, etc. And you'll have friendships. You'll make relationships, etc. You'll also sort of like a lot of people that you talk to at primary school, they don't follow you through into secondary school. If they go to a different school, etc., you don't really keep in contact that much, to be fair. But it's also like the fact that you can walk into your local shop, into your local town, into your local mall, local shopping centre, whatever. And there'll be people in there that you've never even met before. You've never even pictured. Your eyes have never even set themselves on. And you can just have a conversation. Oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How about you? Yeah, I'm good. Have you seen this? Have you seen that over there? Have you heard what they've done to that store? Have you seen what's coming in? Etc. You're engaging in conversations. It's just like on the internet. You meet people all the time. Sure, those people on the internet that you meet might not be who they say they are, but there's only one way to find out, right? And that's to meet them. And some people get to that stage where you meet people on the internet and you meet them face to face. And that's the stage I got to. I met my ex-girlfriend on on Black Ops 2, and it's kind of weird because I used to play, I still play with them, but I used to have like UK friends and American friends, and if I stayed up all night, I'd play with my American friends later on, and whilst they weren't online, I'd play with my English friends, So I was playing with my English friends, and one night I just went off, just had enough of Black Ops 2, and just went off to bed and whatnot. And the next day I came back on, and joined their party, and there was this new kid in there, and I'd never met him before. He adds me, and we start talking, etc. We start playing games together, all 5 or 6 of us, whatever, and we just chill out, have a good time. Then further on down the line, this kid invites me to it again. I'm just like, what, fuck it, it's better than playing solo. I'll just join and I'll just have a bit of fun, And there happens to be this girl in there, and this girl's like, she thought I was kind of funny, so she like messaged me saying, you're quite funny, etc. You got a nice voice, etc. We started messaging, and we sort of exchanged numbers on for the first time, and it's like, wait, what? I just gave a stranger my number in like day one of like meeting them online. That was it. So we had each other on like Facebook and start talking, etc. And we didn't talk too much, and I never really like pursued in that aspect because I was under the impression that if I talk to her every single day, there might be something that I mess up on. I may say something one day that offends her, that sort of upsets her, and she deletes me. Now I don't want her to delete me because I'm sort of getting into this like kind of like developing feelings for each other kind of thing. I like having this girl in my life. I like talking to her. I like the things we talk about, etc. And I just like how strong our friendship is. This is like months ahead onto the friendship. Well, this is at like what I was talking about was like weeks ahead, but I mean the reason why I didn't message her every single day was because I didn't want to say something that upset her and made her like go, oh, you know what, yeah, you're a bit of a dick, I don't want to talk to you again. And so I would just like text her back when she texts me kind of thing, because that way I couldn't get one of those, I couldn't text her and say, and then get a reply saying, what, you're annoying me, stop texting me, you're texting me too much kind of thing, because I'm texting her when she texts me. So that way I'm playing it safe. And over the next couple of months we start talking, we get more and more interactive. We start, instead of talking once every few days, we started talking every single day. Then we started having phone calls, and then we started Skyping. Then, we started doing all that stuff, and this brings your friendship up to great levels, and you start talking about tougher things. You start talking about your past. You start asking for views and opinions and help on things, and this makes you ever so stronger, etc. And then we kind of admit to each other that, well, we like each other. I'm starting to gain feelings for you. And we kind of revealed it at the same time, and months go on, a few weeks go by, and we were like, you know what, should we just give this a try? Because let's face it, we make each other happy, and the only way this can get better is if we do it and we grow stronger. So we go out and we date for a while, etc. Life goes on. And we seem to be doing fine. And I'm working a tricky job at the moment. Well, not at the moment, but at that time, it was coming up towards Christmas, and I'm working. I'm working like 3 days on, 3 days off kind of thing, and it was like a terrible job because you'd be doing like 12-hour shifts, and I didn't like that job. It was my first job, and probably my worst job. But hey ho. So I'm working there, it's difficult, and I wanted to go see her, but the thing that was holding me back is that we had like, every time that I wanted to go see her, we had like a few hiccups, and I didn't want to meet her on bad terms. I wanted to meet her on good terms. I wanted to meet her where we actually both wanted to be around each other. We wanted to be happy. Things were going great. This is great. Let's make our relationship stronger. Let's make, this month a bit stronger. Let's make it a bit more fun. And happy, and let's bring each other a bit closer. But every time I wanted to do that, something big would blow up. We'd argue, we'd upset each other, we'd sort of like I said, argue, and I didn't want to meet off the back of an argument, or meet up and just like talk about an argument or say something wrong. And this goes on for a while, etc. And then it eventually comes down to, what, if you don't meet me now, that's it. I'm done. I'm not going to see you. So it's like, okay, well, I'll go see her. I will go see her. You mean that much to me, and I don't want to lose you. And at this point, the reason why I never really was eager to go see her was because, I'm not confident in myself, I don't think much of myself, but, I think, what it comes down to is, like, you have so much, like, feelings for someone, and you want everything to go well, and you want them to like you, and you're scared that if you meet them face to face, it might push them away, they might not like you, you might not have that connection that you have over the phone, or on Skype, etc., etc., and it's things like that, and, meeting new people, and meeting someone that could potentially play a big part in your life is generally hard. It's scary. It's hard to deal with. And I was just like, what, fuck it, I'm just gonna have to go. I didn't tell my parents, that I was going up there, I just went up there for a few days, and, we spoke to get, we meet, she brought her mum, sort of got introduced to her, we had a few drinks, had a few more drinks, sort of met a friend, then we went back to the hotel, had a good time, and we just got like comfortable around each other, a few days go by, I come home, etc., and it's like, oof, a great big weight has been lifted off my shoulder. I then, I wanted to go see her again, but I sort of lost my job at the time. So I'm like, what, I'd love to come and see you, but, I've lost my job. So the next, like, 2 weeks or so, I'm, like, job hunting, like, every single day, like, I'm applying for more and more jobs, etc. And eventually I get my new job. It's like, okay, well, just give me, like, a few weeks to settle in, and then I'll come and see you again, etc. And I did that, we went up there again, and I went to see her, and then I saw her a few more, a few more times for a few more days, etc. And, things were getting better, things were getting stronger, it was looking a lot more positive. but she just hated saying goodbye, and I hate that too. But sometimes, goodbye is not forever, and it's like, you'll see me again, I'll be here again, but I guess she just hated the fact that, she was having such like a bad time in the past 7 months. She couldn't have the one person that you sort of like, you put yourself there kind of thing, like, a boyfriend. A boyfriend or a girlfriend can be the most valuable person in your life, and she didn't have that there around her 24/7. It wasn't close by. I live 3 hours away. I'm not like just a few streets away from her house. I wish I was, because I believe if that was the case, we'd still be together. But unfortunately, I'm not, and I don't have enough money, and I'm still too young, and I know nothing about housing or renting, etc. And I'm too young to live on my own, etc. And I'm too young to take a risk like that at the moment. But maybe in the future, who knows? And she's like, what, I can't do this anymore. And we didn't really we didn't really speak for a month or so. Like she ended it. She ended it like about a month ago. Well, not about a month ago, about 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's like I said, her phone got sent off, and then she then ended it, etc. And we're just getting back to the stage that we're at, and it's like, what, I'm just gonna not give up on this girl, because she means a lot to me. She makes me happy, and I want her. But it's much harder than what it seems, right? And I want her, etc. And I kind of went off topic, but meeting people for the first time is scary. It makes you nervous. You're not nervous to the build-up of it. It's when it's like a day away, or a few hours away, or you board that train, you board that plane, you get in your car, you drive, you are X amount of miles away, you're an hour away, whatever, you're just like, oh my fucking god, what am I doing, help me, get me out of here, I can't do this, and you really have to pick yourself up and be like, what, fuck it, I'm doing it, I'm 100% going. And the best way to do that is to just say, look, I've put the best part of a year, 6 months, 3 months, 2 years, whatever it is, whatever you and your friend or girlfriend or boyfriend have been talking together, you've put that amount of time in together, and you've overcome some strong things, and there've been some tough times where you've looked at it, you've spoken to each other, and you've just helped each other, you've inspired each other to overcome the bad times, and you just gotta, sort of like come over it and just say, what, fuck it. I spent all that time. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go through with it. I'm gonna see her, or I'm gonna see him, and I'm gonna go through with it. And I'm gonna give it a chance, because life is all about taking chances in life. You don't take chances in life, your life won't get anywhere, because life is created by chances. What you live, the future you create, who you are, where you can get in life, the money you can make in life, what you want to do in life, your career, it's all taken by chance. You might become a footballer, you might not, you have to take that chance. You might become an engineer, you might not, you have to take that chance, etc. Life is created by chances, and the fact is that in life you can have many chances. You can fuck up many chances, but you'll always get another chance in life. You'll always get a chance to put it right, or you'll always get a chance to move on from your mistake and forgive and forget, and sort of push it away from you. And that goes to say that in life you don't get everything right. You might meet this girl or guy and things not be okay, and if that pushes you both away, then that's may have done you a favour, because that then lets you know that, hey, look, we aren't really the same in person how we are over the phone or on Skype, etc. But it might also say, hey, look, this means so much to us that we're kind of shy with each other. We are shy around each other. It's obviously a big, scary thing. It's probably the biggest thing you've both done in each other's lives, in one another's lives, sorry, not each other's, but it's probably the biggest challenge you've done, and it's probably the first challenge that you've really done by yourself, unless you're like meeting them with like your parents, etc. But most people meet face to face and like boy to girl or boy to boy, girl to girl, whatever, and you're probably doing that by yourself. You've probably made your parents aware, or some of you haven't, etc. But that's up to you. That's up to you what you think's best. But the fact is that you're not guaranteed to make each other happy when you see each other. You're not guaranteed to be having a great time. The only thing you're guaranteed is that you may see each other, because one of you may not turn up. One of them might be a total different person on the phone. One of them might not even be the person who looks like they are in the picture, etc. And God forbid if that is the case, I do apologise if you ever experience that. But the internet's the internet. You can be anyone who you want, and that's always something the internet will be. But the fact is that when you meet someone who means something, you try ever so hard to make it right. And you'll try anything. You try and be funny, you try and be smart, you try and be, just someone that makes her laugh, makes her giggle, makes her smile, makes her happy. You try and do anything to do any of the things, or him. You want them to like you. You want them to feel, oh, he's just like he was, but even better, and he's here right in front of me, kind of thing. And, you want them to kind of be like, oh, this is everything I ever dreamed of, or everything I ever pictured, kind of stuff. The fact is the best person and the best thing you can be is yourself. Because if you've been yourself all along, it's that personality that they've fallen for. Life isn't about what you look like, No one really gives a shit what you look like. It's all about personality. And the way to prove that is that, you look at people and you question their relationship. Like, for instance, let's say a big girl goes out with a fit guy, or a big guy goes out with a fit girl, and people be like, what? You two are dating? What? Like, why? One of you could do so much better. And it's like, it's an insult asking that, but you're intrigued to sort of know why they're dating, because opposites do attract. And sometimes it's not anything to do with opposites. Sometimes it's just a case of, well, look, I don't care how big someone is. I don't care what they look like. I don't care how good looking she is. I don't care what good looking men can come after her. The fact is that I make her the most happiest. She trusts me. We thrive off each other's personality. We make each other laugh. We're close. We read each other's mind, etc. It's all about that, and that's not a physical attraction. There are things to be added to a physical attraction, but I think personality and honesty and trust comes over more than what looks and all that comes for. So if you're going to meet someone who you don't know, just be yourself. Be the person you've been. And over that friendship, just be them, and they will like you, and you will have a good time. I'm going to end this podcast here, so thanks for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, please do leave a like, subscribe for more podcasts like this. The reason I'm ending it is because it's almost 5 AM here. I have work later on today. I need to get some sleep, and I don't really have anything else to talk about, and I don't want to just drag on for too long. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button, and peace. This was the SmithCast podcast, episode 4. Peace and goodbye.